Hello everyone and welcome in on this Sunday. I figure we start with a little organ music to get us ready for this amazing day of sports that we have ahead of us. We've got NBA playoffs, we've got NHL playoffs, and we have a full slate of MLB that gets started in just about 30 minutes because Major League Baseball may be the dumbest sport with the dumbest commissioner in all of baseball. Rob Manfred, you have your head so far up your ass you could see sunshine through your throat, and that is because MLB is on Roku at 11:35 this morning. Whoever thought that was a good idea in the Major League Baseball executive offices should be fired and left standing out on a street corner somewhere with a sign that says, "I'm standing with stupid, but I'm by myself." Maybe one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. You want to put it on Amazon, you want to put it on Peacock, but no, you put it on Roku. Major League Baseball, bravo for being the most irrelevant, dumbest sports league in the entire world. Oh well, we push that to the side and we get excited about the sports day ahead. Welcome everybody to the Butt Fumble Sports Show. I am so freaking pumped to be with you on this beautiful Sunday, no matter where you are, no matter where you're watching, no matter the platform you're on, Instagram Live, TikTok Live, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. Welcome in to the Butt Fumble Sports Show. It is a glorious day, and for one and one reason only. We have sports, everybody. We live in a world where we get to talk sports, bet on sports, play fantasy sports. Sports gods, thank you for the blessings you have given us on this day. I hope you guys are having an amazing weekend so far. 3-day holiday weekend. I hope you're barbecuing. I hope you're hanging with friends. Maybe getting a little cerveza here or there. But I am so excited to have you guys with us for this show. You can tell, Chop, I'm bringing the energy. I am pumped because when you wake up on a Sunday and you have sports all day, sun in the sky, and not another thing to do, that's when you know that life is freaking amazing. If you guys have questions, write them in the comments section. If you guys need help with your sports bets, if you need help with your fantasy bets, if you just want to talk sports with the most dedicated, ridiculous, passionate sports fan you've ever come across, then write it in the comments section. No matter where you watch, no matter the platform, make sure you follow, make sure you just subscribe. That way you know every time we're live. We're live usually during the weekdays at about 4:30, on the weekends at about 11:30. Let's frickin' go, everybody. We're going to give out picks. We're going to do research. We're going to have a lot of fun over the next few hours as we get excited about today's sports action. I want to give a big shout out to those right now watching over on YouTube. Dante, one of our most loyal viewers. So happy to have you with us, Dante. Hope you're having a great Sunday. Brian wants us to get started on the Blue Jays and Tigers. That is where we're going to start. And for that reason, I am going to make sure that you guys get everything you need to know about this Roku baseball game. The dumbest programming. I worked in programming at Fox Sports, CBS Sports. I worked in the department that figures out when you put events in a TV schedule. I can assure you, I never ever recommended an 11:35 game on Roku. Where is Roku? Do I have to buy Roku just to see the Tigers and the Blue Jays? Not going to do it. But that said, I've already bet on that game, so maybe I won't watch it, but I'll certainly be keeping track of it. Let's look at the odds, and let's look at how the money and market's breaking down for that one as we kick off everything. Anthony, let's talk some Blue Jays, let's talk some Tigers. First things first, the market right now is favoring the Blue Jays. Last night, I actually checked this. Interesting. When the market opened, it was favoring the Tigers in terms of money. Over the course of the morning, overnight, and into the morning, the money has shifted towards the Blue Jays. Right now, 64% of the tickets are on the Blue Jays to win. 69% of the money is on the Blue Jays to win. That gets even better if you're a Blue Jays bettor and you're betting on the run line. Right now, Blue Jays minus 1.5 is getting 83% of the tickets in the marketplace, but 95% of the money. The public, the smart money, the sharp money, all coming down on the Blue Jays. Interestingly enough, the over's getting the love from the public. The under's getting a little bit more love from the money. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But first things first, let's dive into some trends, everybody. Before we actually dive into any trends on this game, I actually saw a stat that I wanted to call out for all of you sports bettors out there. I thought this was really interesting. So far this season, Home teams on a Sunday actually do have a winning record at 67-52. Not what I wanted to call out. What I wanted to share with you guys is how good the sports books are. So when I talk about taking alternative lines, when I say avoid a bet because we don't have confidence on it, when I warn you guys that the sports books are trying to rob your pockets to build more casinos, this is what I'm talking about. Home teams on Sunday so far this Major League season, the over-under is 58, 56, and 5. That tells you that the sports books know how to set totals. The fact that that's almost exactly even, incredible. You want another one? Home teams in day games so far this season, home teams in day games are 158 and 157. So home teams have just a one-game advantage in day games over the course of the year. Why does that stand out to me? It tells me the sports books are wicked smart. They know what they're doing. So if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a strategy, if you don't have an approach, don't worry, guys. The sports books will know how to beat you. So make sure that when you step into your sports betting day, you come with an approach, a plan, a strategy. Because if you're just winging it and shooting it by the hip, the sports books know how to take your money because that's what they do to make sure that they continue to grow. So be very mindful of that. Hot Rod, great to have you with us. Let's dive into some trends that are a bit more relevant for the game we're going to be talking about today, and that is Blue Jays and Tigers. First things first, let's talk Blue Jays. How have the Blue Jays done so far this year when they're coming off a loss? They're coming off a loss yesterday. Disappointing performance. Kevin Kiermaier, you came up twice with 2 runners on base, 1 out each time, and you did nothing. Kevin Kiermaier, maybe there's a reason why your career's on the downside. We're pulling up killersports.com. It's getting loaded right now. For all those that are new to the show, we use 3 main sources of research during the show. We use Outlier. Outlier's a sports betting app. It's a research app. It's not a sports book, but it allows us to look at the market, the trends, the matchups, everything else. That does require a subscription. If you want a free 7-day trial, DM me on Instagram. If you want to try a free website and actually do this research on your own, I want to empower you guys no matter where you are, no matter what sports you care about. I want to empower you guys to be better sports bettors. Check out killersports.com. KILLER sports.com. You guys can do all this research on your own. Doesn't cost any money. The best thing about it is usually it takes tens of thousands of dollars to actually acquire the data that killersports.com has accessible. You can find all that data for free. You just need to know how to plug in the algorithm to pull out what you need. So check out killersports.com. The third source of research that we use is called ballparkpal.com. Ballparkpal.com is a phenomenal website that runs thousands of simulations about every baseball game, just giving a bit of an understanding of how the data would play out under thousands of simulations. I usually don't rely on ballparkpal.com as my foundational research. It's kind of the icing on the cake that just solidifies my thinking already. Blue Jays coming off a loss so far this year, 14-13, both straight up and on the run line, but the under has performed better. The under is 17-10 when the Blue Jays are coming off a loss. How about when they're coming off a loss and they're on the road? Once again, straight up and on the run line, the exact same at 8-7, but the under continues to be a good play at 10-5. Keep your eye on the under. It might be something that we like for this game. Let's check out the Tigers. When the Tigers are coming off a win so far this year and they are at home, the Tigers are 4-7 straight up, 3-8 on the run line. The under continues to be a good play at 7-4. If you're new to the show, how do I make my picks? It's not based on one trend. We want a constellation. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different variables, all pointing me in the same direction. Right now, they're all pointing towards the under. But we don't have enough confidence just on the few things we've looked at. So let's dive a little bit further. How about how the Blue Jays done last game of a series on the road? Last game of a series, 2-6 straight up, 3-5 on the run line. The over-under is even at 4-4. When they're an away dog, last game of a series, 1-5 straight up, 2-4 on the run line, 3-3 splitting the over and the under. So the Blue Jays are a favorite today. Forgive me. When the Blue Jays are an away favorite, 1-1 across the board. So just kind of studying what we can from the trends we're looking at. How about the Tigers? Tigers are a home dog for this game. When the Tigers are in the last game of a series and they're a home dog so far this year, actually hasn't happened yet. This is the first time this year that's the circumstance. When they're at home last game of a series, 3-4 straight up, 2-5 on the run line. But once again, the trends follow the under. Under is 4-2-1. Let's look at, this is actually something I'm really excited to show you guys, so make sure you're paying attention. The starter for today's game is, for the Blue Jays, is UC Kikuchi. UC Kikuchi. How has UC Kikuchi done so far this year? Blue Jays are 3-7 in his starts, 3-7 on the run line, but the under is 8-2. The under continues to be a good trend based on what we're seeing. How about when Kikuchi pitches on the road? Under is 4-1. The under continues to stand out as a good play. On the other side of it, Casey Mize is on the mound for the Tigers. When Casey Mize has started, the under is 5-4. Tigers have actually lost their last 4 games with Casey Mize on the mound. They're 5-4 in his starts. Won the first 5, lost the last 4. When Casey Mize pitches at home this year, 2-2 straight up, 1-3 on the run line, and once again the under delivering all the trends on this. The under is 3-1. One last thing I want to focus on before we can officially put a pickup on the big board is I want to see how these teams do against the righty-lefty splits. So when the Blue Jays are facing a right-handed starter so far this year, Blue Jays are 20-21. The under is a stronger play at 23-17-1. How about when the Blue Jays play a righty on the road rather? 9-13 favoring the under 13-9. So once again, all signs pointing towards the under. Let's flip it around. When the Tigers face a southpaw so far this season, again Kikuchi, left-handed pitcher. Tigers, when they face a left-handed pitcher this year, 6-6 straight up, 4-8 on the run line. The over-under is 6-6. When the Tigers face a left-handed pitcher at home, 2-3 straight up, 1-4 on the run line. The under is 3-2. For this game right now, personally, I'd lean slightly towards the Blue Jays money line, but I don't have enough confidence in that. The bet I'm going to put on this game, and I have actually placed it, is Blue Jays and Tigers. I'm taking the under. I'm going under in Blue Jays and Tigers. Right now, the total for that one is set at 7.5. You guys know I'm not going to take it at 7.5. This opened at 7.5, went up to 8, went up to 8.5. Now it's come back down to 7.5, 8, back down to 7.5 now. Personally, I'm going to buy this at 9. Under 9 is what I'm going to take it at. Under 9's available at -175. Again, I'm putting that into round robins throughout the day. So for some of you who don't like my alternative odds plays, I totally understand. Maybe that's a game you don't bet, but I do like the under 9. I even took it 9.5 in some round robin parlays, some 2-3 leg parlays, but I feel very good about this under based on the data that we just studied. Appreciate you guys being with us. We are 1 game in, 1 game to go. Kyle Klein, Phillies 12.5 last night cashed. I know, I was sweating that one last night. I had Phillies on the money line. I had Phillies -1.5, and I had the under 12.5. All 3 cashed, but we were sweating it right up until the bottom of the 9th. Bryce Harper, by the way, who did I tell you guys yesterday would have a big game? Who did I tell you would hit a home run? Bryce frickin' Harper. The dude came through after being ejected. What a performance by him. So we've gone through 1 game of the day. Blue Jays and Tigers, under 9. First one we're putting up on the board. I'm now scanning for more questions. If you guys have a question about a game you care about, if there's a bet you want us to research, let us check it out for you. Write it in the comments section right now. Yeah, that Phillies game was awesome, Marcus. Certainly worked for our bets, but we were sweating it. By the way, I didn't share this one yesterday during the show, but I had actually placed a bet Celtics on the money line, parlayed with under 226.5. What was the total of that Celtics game? 225. I was loving life last night. Orioles, user 9115. You're asking a similar question to Bryson28. So let's dive into Orioles and White Sox, everybody. Orioles and White Sox is going to be the next game we go with. Now, the market, not surprising, heavily favoring Baltimore. 84% of the tickets are on the Orioles to win, 97% of the money is on the Orioles to win. Interestingly enough, the Orioles are minus 160. Not a bad return on the investment given who they're playing. When it comes to the spread, 87% of tickets are on the Orioles to cover a minus 1.5 run line. White Sox, they're not getting any love because 91% of the money is also on the Orioles to cover the run line. Over-under is set at 7. Over is slightly favored, but just a little bit. Let's dive into some trends, everybody. When the Orioles are playing the last game of a series on the road and they're a favorite, very same scenario that they're playing in today. They are 4-2 straight up. Only 2-4 on the run line, though. Over-under is split at 3-3. Flipping it around, how have the White Sox done at home? Last game of a series as an underdog. They've played 7 games under this scenario, 3-4 straight up. 4-3 on the run line, actually. White Sox have done a better job of covering than people think. The under's been a better play at 5-2. Continuing to drill into some of the stats. How have the Orioles done this year on the road against a left-handed starter? Let's start with just how they've done in general against a left-handed starter. So far this year, Orioles are 12-4 straight up when they face a southpaw starter. 8-8 on the run line, though. So even though they're 12-4 straight up, 8-8 on the run line. Bit of an indication there. If you like Orioles on the money line, doesn't necessarily mean that the run line is an automatic, just given the data. Now, what's interesting is over-under has been very split, 7-2. But one note I want to make for you, Orioles, when they faced a starter who's a left-handed pitcher this year, they were on a phenomenal win streak. They've won their last 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 straight wins against the left-handed starter for the Orioles. So the fact that the Orioles are only minus 160 right now and they have a 10-game winning streak against the left-handed starter, love that. In fact, if you placed $100 on the Orioles to win every time they faced a left-handed starter so far this year, you'd be up $687. So the return on investment is absolutely there. So keep your eye on that minus 160 in favor of the Orioles. Now, when they faced a left-handed starter on the road this year, they're 6-2 straight up, so not bad at all. But 4-4 on the run line, the over's 5-3. I'll repeat for you guys, the run line's a little tricky in this one. Let's flip it around. Let's take a look at Chicago's point of view. When the White Sox are facing a right-handed starter, so far this year, regardless of location, White Sox, not surprising, ugly. 10-31 straight up, 17-24 on the run line. Interesting, the over-under is almost flat at 20-19-2. Sportsbook's doing good work there. However, White Sox have a 2, 4, 6. The White Sox are on a 7-game losing streak against a right-handed starter. So while the Orioles have a 10-game winning streak against a left-handed starter, the White Sox have a 7-game losing streak against a right-handed starter. Those two trends definitely pointing in the direction of the Orioles, but we're not done quite yet with that. Let's dive into it a little bit further. On the mound for this game, Kyle Bradish is on the bump for the O's. How have the Orioles done when Kyle Bradish is the starting pitcher? So far this year, 3-1 straight up, 1-3 on the run line. Once again, money line, good for the O's. Run line, a little dicey. The under's gone 2-1-1 so far this season. Now, interesting to note, when Kyle Bradish is pitched on the road, Orioles are 1-1, so his one loss this season did come on the road. That was a 3-1 loss to the Cardinals in his last start back on May 21st. Now, flipping it around, Garrett Crochet is on the mound for the White Sox. Garrett Crochet, left-handed starter. How have the White Sox performed when he's been their starting pitcher? Better than you expect, actually. 5-6 straight up, not surprising. But the White Sox are 7-4 on the run line when Garrett Crochet pitches. So once again, Orioles on the money line, but maybe avoiding the run line or even finding a way to take like the White Sox plus 2.5 has some value, everybody. Certainly something to keep our eye on. Under has been a very, very strong play when Crochet pitches. The under is 9-2 when Garrett Crochet is on the mound for the White Sox. So the under, strong play. Looking at the market right now, I don't like the under 7. That just doesn't feel like a great one. If you wanted to take the under, buy up that ceiling. This opened at 7.5, came down to 7. You could get the under at under 8.5 at minus 210. Maybe put that into a parlay. Maybe take under 8.5, put it into a parlay with Orioles on the money line. That might be a good 2-leg parlay to get you on the even side of the return on investment. That said, the bet I'm going to make on this game isn't going to surprise you. I'm going to take Orioles on the money line. Now, am I a little bit worried about this one? A little bit. So I did hedge, and I did place a bet where the White Sox cover +2. I put that into some of my other bets. If you guys follow my bets on SHARPZ, not on the show. On the show, I usually give out the picks that I have a highest confidence level in. But if you follow my picks on the SHARPZ app, you'll see every once in a while I'll place like some hedge bets, a series of bets where, do I think it could happen? Yes, but it isn't where I'm placing a majority of my money each day. So obviously, I'm putting a majority of my money. Think of it like the 80-20 rule. 80% of my money is on the things that I have a high confidence level in. 20% are on the things that I'm like leaning towards that have a decent return on investment. The White Sox +2.5 or +2 might go into the leaning category. But what am I putting on the big board right now over on my computer screen? Orioles on the money line. By the way, if you're watching on Instagram Live or on TikTok Live and you're like, what's this big board that he's talking about? Jump on over to YouTube. My handle, my channel is Butt Fumble Sports, the name of my company, Butt Fumble Sports on YouTube. When I go live on YouTube, I share my screen so you can see the research I'm doing live. You can see the picks that I'm putting up on the big board. You can follow everything I'm talking about and see it right in front of you. So if you want the complete experience, jump on over to YouTube to watch it there. But if you like just hearing me talk through it and you like seeing this ugly mug of mine, Instagram Live and TikTok Live are the places for you. Brian is asking about those Dodgers. Dodgers lost the first 2 games of their series against the Reds. Really disappointed me. I had the Dodgers in both games. So obviously, I'm a little bit burned by the Dodgers. It is making me a little bit cautious about today's game. But here's the issue. Yamamoto's on the mound for the Dodgers, and he's been phenomenal. 79% of the tickets are on the Dodgers to win. 98% of the money is on the Dodgers to win. It's rare that we actually see the money like the Dodgers more than the public, but that is the case today. Both money and market, or money and tickets, are both at 92% favoring the Dodgers to cover a -1.5 run line. One interesting thing to note, the under's getting some good action. Under is around 39% of the tickets, 38% of the money. On ballparkpal.com, according to the weather app, the weather part of the website, the over is favored in terms of the weather, but if you flip on over to their estimates of the score, again, favors the over. Kind of interesting here. There are a lot of trends that favor the under, so you're going to notice that I'm kind of flip-flopping on whether we like the over or the under in this Dodgers and Reds game. Kind of a tricky one. Let's take a look at some trends, everybody. Dodgers, last game of a series as a road favorite so far this year, 2-4 straight up. You heard that correctly. The Dodgers have played 6 games this season when their last game of a series on the road is a favorite. They are 2-4 straight up. They're 1-5 on the run line. Now, I know you're probably going, that can't be right. The Dodgers on the road as a favorite last game of a series, they must be better than that. 1-5 on the run line. The under is also 5-1. I told you trends were favoring the under. In fact, since April 10th, the under last game of a series on the road is a favorite, 5-0. The only time this went over the number was April 7th when the Dodgers played the Cubs. So it's been a minute. Really quick, flipping it around, how have the Reds done as a home underdog last game of a series so far this year? 0-2 straight up. 0-2 on the run line, and the under is 2-0. So the trends are favoring the under. I know the weather is favoring the over in Cincinnati. The trends are favoring the under. Trends are also slightly favoring maybe the Dodgers money line, but we'll have to study it some more. Let's dive into it now a little bit further. When the Dodgers are playing a right-handed pitcher, on the road, oh, they're facing a lefty today. Forgive me. When the Dodgers face a left-handed pitcher on the road so far this year, They are 6-2 straight up. Dodgers 6-2 straight up against the left-handed starter on the road. 5-3 on the run line. But once again, the under becomes a really good trend. The under is 6-2 when the Dodgers face a left-handed pitcher on the road. How about when they face a left-handed pitcher and they lost the previous day's game? Dodgers are only 5-4 straight up, 4-5 on the run line, and the over-under is split at 4-4-1. Just kind of an interesting note there. When they faced a lefty, regardless of location, they are 13-6 straight up, 10-9 on the run line, under slightly better at 10-8-1. Let's take a look at it from the Reds' point of view. When the Reds are facing a right-handed starter, regardless of location so far this season, the Reds are 15-19 straight up, 18-16 on the run line. The under slightly better at 17-16-1. How about when the Reds face a right-handed starter and they're playing at home? 7-7 straight up, 6-8 on the run line. The over slightly better at 8-5-1. One interesting note that I'm looking at, just diving into the trends, since April 25th, the Reds are 2-4-6. They are 2-6 when they face a right-handed starter at home. So Dodgers against the left-handed pitcher on the road, very good on the money line. Reds at home against a right-handed starter, not so good over the last few weeks. We're starting to build a case for Dodgers on the money line. We're starting to build a case for the under. Seems to be a slightly better play, but we're not quite done yet. Let's take a look at how Yamamoto has done on the mound so far this year, or more specifically, how have the Dodgers done when he's been the starting pitcher. He's made 10 starts this year. Dodgers are 6-4 straight up, 5-5 on the run line. They've actually won their last 5 straight games with him on the mound, and they've covered a -1.5 run line in 4 straight starts that Yamamoto has pitched. The over is slightly better at 7-3 when Yamamoto has pitched on the road, though. Dodgers this year are 4-0 when Yamamoto pitches on the road, 3-1 on the run line. Here's what's interesting. I mentioned a moment ago, the over's been a slightly better play when Yamamoto pitches, regardless of location. But when Yamamoto pitches on the road, the under 3-1. So once again, Dodgers on the money line and the under making a good case for being our picks today. Now, the pitcher for the Reds today is Brent Sutter. Brent Sutter, I don't believe, has any data to follow. Brent Sutter has not made he's made 1 start this year. It was against the Dodgers. Ironically, it was a 7-2 win for the Reds over the Dodgers. It came in LA. I'm not going to make too much of that. It's just not one that I'm necessarily excited about. Just doesn't feel like there's something to that. That said, I'm coming down on the Dodgers money line. I know they've been burning me the last few days, but my real question is, do I think the Dodgers get swept by the Reds? I don't. I think Dodgers on the money line is a good play. I'd also recommend the under. Now, the over-under right now is set at 8.5. I don't like it there. This opened at 9, went up to 9.5, has come down to 8.5. I like it at that 9.5. I really like it at under 10. I like it even more at under 10.5. You can get under 10.5 runs at -188 on FanDuel, -194 on DraftKings, -200 on ESPN Bet, and -200 on BetMGM. I'm going to take this. I'm going to make it a parlay play. I'm not going to take it straight up. Not valuable enough there. But I'm going to take the under 10.5. And again, I'll put the little symbols next to it on my big board to let all of you know it would be a leg of a parlay for me. So if you're looking for a nice 2-leg parlay, maybe Dodgers on the money line, take the under 11, under 10.5. You're going to come around even money on that bet. I think it's a good play. By the way, we're going to dive into some player prop bets for baseball in a little bit. There really were none for that 11:35 game, so I'm not too worried about that. I know that game's just about to get started. Before I go any further, I know I ranted about this at the start of the show. Forgive me, I'm going to say it one more time. I think there are some phenomenal commissioners across sports right now. I think Adam Silver is as good a commissioner in a pro sports league as we've had in a long time. I think people hate Roger Goodell, but actually, given that he has to manage 32 billionaires, I actually think Roger Goodell does a pretty good job. I think Gary Bettman's a clown, but actually the NHL has made real strides over the last few years, growing in popularity, signing some new TV rights deals. Gary Bettman's doing better than I think people give him credit. Rob Manfred, when he took the job as MLB commissioner, I thought he was going to be a star. He had a history of being in labor management. I thought he was going to work well with the players. I thought he was going to work well with ownership. I expected Rob Manfred to actually be one of the better commissioners in sports. Wrong! Got it completely wrong. Rob Manfred has been a disaster in a number of ways. Why are there blackout games? Someone still needs to explain that to me. Why is baseball not making the kind of efforts to grow that other sports are? Yo no say. However, putting an 11:35 Blue Jays and Tigers game on Roku on Memorial Day weekend, bravo, Rob Manfred. That might be the dumbest move I've ever heard a commissioner doing when it comes to a media rights deal. Did Roku really offer you enough money for you to sell out on a Sunday morning 11:35 baseball game? Rob Manfred may be a very smart individual. I'm sure he does his job better than I'm giving him credit for, but this decision goes down as a dunce cap kind of move. I don't get it. Is anyone out there like, oh, let me sign up for Roku because there's a Blue Jays and Tigers game at 11:35 that I need to go watch? Absolutely nobody. You could have put this on another channel. People might have watched. You could have found another way to grow the sport. But instead of a little leaguer going to T-ball, going to play baseball at 11:35, like kids do, instead they're going to stay home to watch Blue Jays and Tigers on Roku. Dumbest damn decision. That's a triple D. Dumbest damn decision that I've seen in a long time. Have to get that off my chest. I already put a rant out about it this morning. I put a rant out on my channels. There are things that fire me up, and baseball being stupid, it certainly gets me fired up, everybody. Now, that said, we are moving on. We're going to our next pick, our next bit of research. So if you guys have a question, let us know. Edgar, I do think Vladimir Guerrero Jr. does get a hit. I do think Vlad Guerrero Jr. does get a hit. How's that pitcher for the Dodgers, John? Yamamoto, very strong on the road. The key to me for the Dodgers is Yamamoto is actually better on the road than he is at home. That makes a big difference for me. By the way, I already have a problem with baseball putting games on Amazon Prime and on Apple TV, but at least I can say to myself, okay, Apple TV and Amazon are paying big sums of money. They have other content. Maybe you can find an excuse, a way to alright, but Roku? Really, MLB? You're putting it on Roku? You want to put it on Amazon? You want to put it on Apple? You want to put it on a streaming channel that people actually pay for outside of one damn baseball game? But putting it on Roku, I think that's what offends me. I think that's what gets my blood curdling, gets it boiling, is the fact that you put it on Roku. Major League Baseball, who, in your programming research department, came into that meeting and said, I got a great idea. Let's put it on Roku. Let's put it on the streaming service that no one can frickin' find. That is what upsets me more than anything. And Major League, I love baseball. I frickin' love baseball. So why is Rob Manfred and the leadership in the commissioner's office and at the executive level, why are they making such stupid decisions? You want to put it on Peacock? I'm not paying for Peacock. I hate Peacock. But even that I'd understand. You're putting it on Roku? What the fuck? Forgive me for the language, but WTF. I mean, for real, everybody. All right. Roku is the #1 TV operating service in the world, man. Dave Howard, do you work for Roku? I have never heard... By the way, have I heard 10 people tell me that they have Roku? Anyone who's trying to convince... What market are we talking about? #1 operating system in the world. This is baseball. It's America's pastime. Make it accessible to Americans on Memorial Day. I don't care what they're watching overseas. It's Roku. Why are we appealing to the masses? Appeal to the base. Appeal to baseball fans. I love that Dave Howard's somehow standing up for Roku. That's the hill you want to die on. Go for it, buddy. Go stand up for Roku. That makes a lot of sense. What the hell? Okay, Action TBS, where did they go? TBS still broadcasts games. They're on Tuesday nights. I'm actually okay with that. That's fine. By the way, everyone give Dave Howard a hard time because he's awesome. By the way, Dave, I love that you watch. I appreciate the comment. I'm just having some fun with you guys. We never take ourselves so seriously here where I'm actually going to give you guys shit. So Get with the times, boomer. I love that, like, because 80 million people have it, all of a sudden that means, like, oh, well, that makes sense. That's why baseball should do it. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't make any sense. But Dave, I love the conversation. Let's not confuse things. Dave, I really appreciate you watching. I love the banter. I love the conversation. I'd love to debate this on a show sometimes. So let's not drag down the show too much. But I actually think it's a great combo. Okay, let's get back to some research, everybody, because clearly I'm a little hot under the collar. I'm a little fired up. We need to get back to our baseball research. Next thing I saw someone ask was about Brewers on the run line. Brewers plus 1.5. Let's get to some work, everybody. Brewers are having their first pitch against the Red Sox at 1:35. The one thing that is nice is we have a game starting at 11:35. Dodgers and Reds starts at 12:10, and then we don't have a game until 1:35. So a little bit of time between those first two games. Let's take a look at Brewers and Red Sox. Right now, the market is favoring the Red Sox. 69% of the tickets are on the Red Sox to win, but 92% of the money is on the Red Sox to win. I actually saw a trend that's really interesting. Maybe you guys probably are going to be like, butt fumble sports. This is a bizarre trend. I don't necessarily believe in it, but I'm just going to show you guys anyways. So far this year, when they play on a Sunday, the Boston Red Sox are undefeated. The Red Sox are 8-0 when they play on a Sunday this year. Does that mean anything? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe God just likes the Red Sox more than everybody else. But the Red Sox are 8-0 so far this year. How about the Brewers? When they play on a Sunday so far this year, Brewers are 3-5 on a Sunday. Again, does it mean anything? Does it matter? That's for you to decide. But I kind of love looking at trends, and just when I find a trend where it's an undefeated trend like Red Sox on a Sunday 8-0, I always think that's kind of fun. Anyways, let's get back to our research. First thing we're going to look at is Brewers. Brewers are coming off a win yesterday. When the Brewers are coming off a win on the road so far this year, Brewers are 11-8 straight up, 11-8 on the run line. The over is slightly better at 12-6-1. Now, they got a win yesterday. That is their first win on the road coming off a win in their last 6 games. They are 1-5 in their last 6 games after a win on the road. When they are coming off back-to-back wins, and they're on the road so far this year, Brewers are 6-4 straight up. Brewers are 7-3 on the run line when they have back-to-back wins and they're playing on the road, 6-4 favoring the over. Just kind of interesting. How about the Red Sox? Red Sox coming off a loss at home so far this year are 5-8 straight up, 4-9 on the run line, 6-1 on the over-under. By the way, Luigi Man, the research I'm looking at right now is killersports.com. KILLER sports.com. Absolutely free. Absolutely free. You guys can check it out on your own. By the way, LGP Elite, don't worry. I'll get to your question in just a moment. We've got some research to do before that, though. Okay, let's see how the Red Sox have done when they're coming off back-to-back losses and they're at home. Red Sox are 4-3 straight up, 4-3 on the run line, and 5-2 towards the under. 5-2 towards the under. So really interesting there. Red Sox, again, coming off back-to-back losses are slightly better than maybe you'd expect. Now, the starting pitcher for the Red Sox is going to make a big impact on my thinking today. That's Tanner Houck. Tanner Houck on the mound for the Sox. So far this season, when Tanner Houck's been on the mound, 5-5 straight up, 4-6 on the run line. But the under has been a phenomenal play. The under is 8-2 when Tanner Houck starts, and actually the under is hit in 8 straight games. The only time this year that the over has hit when Tanner Houck's been on the mound, April 1st against the Athletics, April 7th against the Angels. Those were his first 2 starts of the year. Since those 2 starts, the under is undefeated at 8-0 when Tanner Houck starts. Just kind of an interesting note. Now, on the other side of things, Tobias Myers is on the mound for the Brewers. If you don't know Tobias Myers, I don't blame you. He's made just 4 starts this year. The Brewers are 1-3 in his start straight up, 2-2 on the run line. The over is 3-1. When the Red Sox are facing a right-handed starter at home so far this year, Red Sox are 7-8 straight up, 5-10 on the run line. The under's been a better play at 9-5-1. How about the Brewers? When the Brewers are facing a right-handed starter and they're on the road so far, they are 15-8 straight up, 15-8 on the run line. The over's been better at 14-8-1. I'm not going to lie about this one. I am fickle about this game. Personally, I think the Red Sox probably win on the money line, but I don't feel good enough about this game. I'm going to avoid this one. I think that Tanner Houck probably pitches well, but the Red Sox have been struggling over the last few games, last week. So that said, I lean towards Red Sox on the money line, but I'm not betting this game. If I were to take anything in this game, I would take the under. Opened at 9, went up to 9.5, has come down to 8.5. If I check out the weather really quick on ballparkpal.com, the weather does favor the over slightly with plus 12 probability in terms of runs. If I took anything, I'd probably take the under 10 or under 9.5. That's probably where I come down. But I don't feel good enough about this game in general. I'm going to avoid the Red Sox and the Brewers. Just feels like a bit of a tricky play. Now, before we move on to anything else, I want to get to some player prop bets for the Dodgers and the Reds. Dodgers and Reds, really quick, I want to look if there are any player prop bets that we care about. Given that game's going to start in about 20-25 minutes, I don't want to miss any of the picks you guys are asking about. So, really quick, obviously, not a lot of history between the starting pitcher of the Reds and the Dodgers, but one hitter who has hit Brent Sutter well is Freddie Freeman. He's 2 for 5 lifetime, does have a home run, and he has 5 RBIs in his career. 5 at-bats, 5 RBIs against this starting pitcher. So, Freddie Freeman over half an RBI. Freddie Freeman over half an RBI is available at even money. He hasn't had an RBI in 4 straight games, specifically on the road against a left-handed starter. He's only got 2 RBIs in his last 10 games. Overall against the left-handed starter, just 3 games with an RBI over his last 10. That said, though, Brent Sutter, he does hit him well. Now, against left-handed pitching this year, Freddie Freeman hitting .211, only 4 RBIs. So I'll talk myself out of it, but just sharing that piece of data with you. Now, Yamamoto, any hitters on the red side of things that hit righties really well? Not really. So in this game overall, not too many things I really like. The only thing I kind of like is Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts, I think, is going to score a run today. Over half a run. He hasn't scored a run in 4 straight games. So far this season, in his last, let's take a look at it actually. Over the course of the season, he has only gone 5 games without a run scored once. So it's actually been a very consistent play. On the road, 4 games in a row. How about against lefties? On the road against the lefties so far this year, 3 of his 8 games on the road, he scored a run. I think Mookie scores a run today. I guess I don't like it enough to put it on the board, but I do think Mookie scores a run. Mookie Betts over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs isn't available, but Scotty B, Yamamoto and the Dodgers win. Mookie Betts scores a run. I feel like that is a very good play pairing those two together. Dodgers pitcher, 7 strikeouts. Let's take a look at the strikeouts, and that's going to actually lead me into the question about Chris Sale, because I know there were some questions about that. So we're going to look up Yamamoto strikeouts, and then we're going to look at Chris Sale. Different game, but we had some questions about that a moment ago. Right now, Yamamoto's strikeout total is set at 6.5. According to Outlier, the implied probability on the under is very high. 58% favoring the under, 6.5 strikeouts for Yamamoto. He has gone over 6.5 strikeouts just 4 times in his 10-game career so far, so it hasn't been a very good trend. On the road, though, 2 starts he hit the over. His last 2 starts he missed it. Really, I mean, Cubs and Nationals he hit the over. Diamondbacks and Giants he hit the under. When the Dodgers have won on the road in his starts, the under is 2-1. Don't really love it. Yeah, don't really love it. If I had to go with anything on this game, in terms of Yamamoto, I might lean towards the under strikeouts, but frankly, I don't feel good enough about it. Reds against right-handed pitchers, they do have some guys who have a higher strikeout rate. Ellie De La Cruz strikes out at a 34% rate. Martini, 30% rate. Luke Maley, 37.5. Willie Benson, 42.5. So they have a number of hitters that are striking out at least a third of the time against a right-handed starter. I wouldn't touch this one. I wouldn't touch Yamamoto on strikeouts. Doesn't feel like a good play. Next player someone was asking about was Chris Sale. Do we like Chris Sale's strikeout total for this game today? Chris Sale's strikeout total is 7.5. According to Outlier, the over is a better implied probability. He's hit the over in 4 straight games, everybody. By the way, if you're a Red Sox fan, how's that trade working out for you? Chris Sale looks phenomenal. Meanwhile, Vaughn Grisham, how's he going so far? Not great. So Chris Sale has gone over 7.5 strikeouts in his last 4 starts on the road. Only his last start, 4 of his last 10 starts on the road, has he actually gone over this total. However, if I bring this down just slightly, if you can get over 6.5, it is a phenomenal trend. In fact, in his last 10 starts, that includes 1 start with the Red Sox last year, he has gone over 6.5 strikeouts in 7 of his last 10 games. Specifically, so far this year, Chris Sale has gone over 6.5 strikeouts in 7 of his 9 starts, 4 straight games, 6 of his last 7 starts. So it's a big difference for me. Chris Sale over 7.5 strikeouts, I don't like it. Chris Sale over 6.5, that you can talk me into. On the other side, how have the Pirates done against him? Small sample sizes. Only Rowdy Tellez has at least 3 at-bats against him. No one else really does. Strikeout numbers, though, are pretty high for the Pirates in terms of facing a lefty. Bart, 28%. O'Neal Cruz, 37%. Rowdy Tellez, 56%. Olivares, 26.5%. Taylor, 34%. So I do like Chris Sale over 6.5 strikeouts. I will put that up on the big board. Chris Sale over 6.5 strikeouts. That is a bet that I'm going to go with. Again, alternative line, so you got to buy it down, but I would take 6.5. Where can you get that? You can get it on Prize Picks, you can get it on FanDuel, and you can get it on Underdog. Unfortunately, those are the only 3 places you can get it. Chris Sale over 6.5 strikeouts. Okay, really quick, someone was asking about, we're already past Casey Mize, so it doesn't really matter. Casey Mize is already starting this game. The game's already underway, so it's irrelevant. Let's talk about some walks really quick. We'll get back to game picks in just a second, but walks allowed, there are actually some pitchers I think could absolutely allow 2 walks today. I put this on my Instagram feed or my Instagram post. Ronel Blanco. Really interesting here. First of all, guy pitched a no-hitter earlier this year. Last start, found with some sticky substance on his pitching hand. Kind of interesting there. A guy we didn't expect anything from pitches a no-hitter earlier this year, then gets caught cheating on a later start. Kind of funny how that works, right, Astros? Anyways, Ronel Blanco over under 1.5 walks is a freaking phenomenal bet, okay? The only time he hasn't gone over 1.5 walks was his last start against the Oakland Athletics. Prior to that, 9 straight starts going over 1.5 walks. It gets even better on the road. Ronel Blanco, over 1.5 walks, has hit in 7 straight road games. This is a lawn, everybody. This is so much green on your screen. We need a lawnmower to cut this shit down. Ronel Blanco, over 1.5 walks, is absolutely a bet I'd recommend. Ronel Blanco, over 1.5 walks. You guys got to check it out. Been a very, very consistent trend. One more for you that I'm going to put up on the board when it comes to walks allowed has to do with one of our favorites. Reed Detmers, everybody, or if you watch the show consistently, Reed Walk Detmers is what we call him. He's averaging about 1.5 walks per start. He's actually allowed a walk in 4 of his last 6 starts. At home, 7 of his last 10 starts. This has become like a religious pilgrimage for me. Every time he starts is to place a bet on over 1.5 walks. I'm going to ride with it today. I understand he's playing the Guardians. Guardians against Reed Detmers in their career. Pretty good, actually. Austin Hedges, good numbers. Jose Ramirez, good numbers. Freeman, good number. So there are a couple of hitters who hit him well against left-handed pitching this season. A number of Guardian hitters are actually hitting well against lefties. So I think the Guardians may have a good offensive game. But the bet I'm putting up on the board is Reed, walk, Detmers over 1.5. Walks allowed. If you're a loyal viewer to the show, you know this is one of our favorite to put up on the board. I'm looking at you, Dante. That's one of our favorites right there. By the way, Edgar, Vlad got a hit. Very happy to hear that. We had Vlad Guerrero Jr. over half a hit earlier in the show. Okay, everybody, let's move on. Hey, we already talked about that one, buddy, so get some feedback from folks. Scotty B, love it, buddy. Who he play for? The real coach. Ronel Blanco pitches for the Astros. Reed Walk Detmers pitches for the Angels. The Angels. If you guys want every bet that I make every day for free, DM me on Instagram. I give away my picks every day for free. I don't care where you watch. I don't care if you follow. I'd love if you followed the show. But I give away my picks for free to everybody. Because my attitude is you're a sports fan just like me. You work hard for your money during the work week. You want to put some money down on sports betting. You shouldn't have to pay for someone's sports picks. I do this research every day for free because I love sports. I've been a producer and worked in programming at ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, and for Jim Rome. This is what I love to do. It's what I built my career around. I do this anyways on my own, even if you guys weren't around. So my attitude is, why would I charge for it? I love giving out the picks. My picks are based on research, trends, data, analytics, officiating, weather, whatever data we can get our hands on, that's what goes into our picks. If you want to see every bet that I make every single day, it will not cost you 1 cent. That's a promise from me. It will never be behind a paywall. All you got to do is DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. Fat Life, that PH Fat Life is asking about the Giants on the money line. Let's check out Giants on the money line, everybody. By the way, a couple of you guys are asking about things that we've already checked out during the show. I gotta apologize. Those are going to be largely ignored just because we're moving pretty fast. So if there are any moderators out there or any viewers of the show that see folks that are asking questions that we've already answered, if you could do me the favor and just holler at them like, yeah, he already answered that. This is what he thinks, or this is the bet he'd go with. Let them know, just like Lightskin DZ. Thanks so much for letting the folks know. Let's jump on over to that Giants game. The Giants are playing the Mets. By the way, we had Giants plus 1.5 yesterday. Boy, was I sweating that when the Giants tied it. I was afraid the Mets might come back with a 2-run home run. No worries about that. The Mets absolutely pooped their pants right in the middle of Citi Field. Now, speaking of the Mets, the market is actually favoring the New York Mets today. 63% of the tickets are on the Giants, but 55% of the money is on the Mets to win. So even though the public likes the Giants to win, the money actually is favoring the Mets. When we ever see that discrepancy, when we see it going in two different directions, that's always a red flag. That's always something we want to pay attention to. It tells us the people that know something are leaning towards a certain direction. The public knows jack shit. The public doesn't know anything. The public's going off of gut, their feel, what their heart tells them, what they assume is going to happen. Public knows very little. The money usually knows a little bit more. So the fact that money's favoring the Mets in this game has our attention. Now, when it comes to the spread, the money is favoring just slightly the Mets. 75% of the tickets are on the Giants, only 67% of the money. So even though, yes, the Giants are getting more love, money's coming down on the Mets, which tells me there's a little bit something to it. Scotty B knows what I'm talking about. Now, the big thing I'm studying is also the under. 84% of the tickets are on the over. 52% of the money is on the over. So the under is getting a lot of the money. There's a reason for that. According to ballparkpal.com, the weather for that game in New York is actually favoring the under. That's because the wind blowing out is actually to the biggest part of the ballpark. So the likelihood of runs in this Mets-Giants game is down 8%. Keep that in mind. Let's dive into some of the trends on this game, everybody. First things first, let's take a look at how the Giants have done when they're coming off back-to-back wins on the road. They have a 2-game winning streak in the series against the Mets. Interesting to note, when the Giants have back-to-back wins and then play on the road, the over is 5-0. So I hate the fact that the trends in the market are going towards the under, but the over has such an amazing trend. Definitely not what I want to see. I want to see those line up. By the way, Swamper Forever, big shout out to you. Thanks so much for showing us some love. Let's flip it on over to the Mets side of things. When the Mets have lost back-to-back games and then they play at home, Mets are 3-5 straight up. The Mets are 1-7 on the run line when they're coming off back-to-back losses and they play at home. Really interesting right there. The Mets frickin' suck, everybody. Or as you guys know, I'd like to say the Mets are dog poop on your porch in the summertime. They stink, everybody. They are 1-7 on the run line on back-to-back losses at home. But let's look at some more trends. Maybe there's something more to this. Giants, last game of a series as an away favorite. 1-2 straight up, 1-2 on the run line, 2-1 favoring the over. How about on the other side of things? When the Mets are in the last game of a series and they are a home underdog, the Mets so far this year under that scenario are 0-1, just one start. It did come against the Phillies. They lost to Aaron Nola for nothing. Let's continue to break down some trends. When the Mets face a right-handed starter at home so far this year, 7-11 straight up, the Mets are 4-14. 4-14 on the run line when they face a right-handed starter at home. God, the Mets suck. I mean, do you remember when we all thought Steve Cohen, the billionaire, was going to go into the Mets organization and fix them and turn them into, like a winning franchise? That feels like so long ago. I feel terrible for Met fans. Met fans honestly believed that the savior was coming in to revive the franchise. And you know what ended up happening? Somehow the Mets got worse. They spent more money and somehow got worse. If you're an anti-Mets fan, hilarious. If you're a Mets fan, definitely a reason to look out your window and go, how far is that fall down? Okay, I won't do it, but certainly consider it given how they play. Now that said, let's flip it on over. How have the Giants done against the left-handed starter when they're on the road? Giants are facing Sean Manaea, left-handed starter for the Mets. When the Giants have faced a left-handed starter on the road, this is an interesting note, everybody. I know I've been saying the Mets are dog shit in so many trends. Here's the issue. Giants against left-handed starters are dog shit too. Overall, let's take a look at it overall first. When the Giants faced a left-handed starter this year, regardless of location, 5-8 straight up, 5-8 on the run line. The over slightly better at 7-6. But when the Giants go on the road and face a left-handed starter, they are 1-4 straight up, 1-4 on the run line. The over is actually 4-1. So the over-under is really tricky. We're seeing a confliction of trends and data and weather and market. So I'm probably going to avoid the total. I wish I could take the under and feel confident about it. But frankly, there are enough trends about the over where I'm just not going to touch it. A little bit nervous about it. Let's take a look at these two starting pitchers, though. Logan Webb. He used to be an ace for the Giants. I don't know if I can say that anymore. He has not pitched well so far this year. Thus far, he's made 11 starts for the Giants. They are 5-6 in his starts. In fact, they've lost 4 of their last 5 games in which Logan Webb has started. Really interesting there. Additionally, run line 5-6. Over-under is 6-5, favoring the under. How about Sean Manaea? When Sean Manaea starts for the New York Metropolitans, how have they done so far this year? Sean Manaea's made 9 starts. Mets are actually 6-3 in his starts. 6-3 on the run line. The over slightly better at 5-4. Where would I come down on this game if I had to go anywhere? I'd probably take the Mets to cover. Believe it or not, if I had to make any bet on this game, I might take Mets +2 or Mets +1.5. But you can just hear it. There's a confliction of trends. There's a confliction of data. When we don't have the constellation, when we don't have all things pointing us in the same direction, we hold off. I'm not going to bet this game. I'm not going to touch it. Don't feel good about it. But LGP Elite is totally right. I have a problem with MLB being on Roku, but if baseball puts the Mets on Roku, it will make no difference for me because I don't watch dog poop on my TV anyways. Really quick, let's do a quick recap of the picks we've given out during the show so far. Believe it or not, guys, we've been live for an hour. Can you believe that? Is that the fastest hour of sports content you've ever watched? I certainly think it's gone by pretty fast. So far during the show, we have Blue Jays Tigers under 9. In fact, I just want to see really quick, how is that bet doing? We can actually kind of grade ourselves based on everything. So far, the score in that game is 0-0 in the top of the second. We'll keep our eye on it. Other picks that we put up on the big board during the show, we have Orioles on the money line. We have Dodgers on the money line. We like Dodgers and Reds under 10.5, but put it into a parlay. A couple of players we like, player prop bets. Ronel Blanco over 1.5 walks for Ronel Blanco over 1.5 walks. I'd also take Reed Detmers over 1.5 walks. Appreciate you guys watching, no matter the platform, no matter where you are in this amazing country, in this beautiful world of ours. Thank you for taking time out of your holiday weekend Sunday to watch our show. I am so, so grateful for every single one of you guys taking the time, watching our content, following, supporting, asking questions. You guys, you're the real MVP. I am so, so grateful to all of you guys. Hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday weekend. And I hope you guys are doing some barbecuing, getting that grill going. Now, the official start of summer, and as someone who loves to go grilling, this is one of my favorite holidays of the year. Holiday weekends. When it comes to a holiday, kind of a sad thing. You know, we're remembering people who died in war serving our country. So, just one thing. I actually do want to call something out. Forgive me. Time out. I'm going to take a quick second to be a little serious. Forgive me. On Instagram, I actually just put up a cause that I am fundraising for. If you guys want to pay for my picks, you don't have to. I give them away for free. But if you want to do a good deed and you want to show some love for Butt Fumble Sports, you want to support us, don't send me money. Donate to Tunnel to Towers. Tunnel to Towers is an organization that was created after 9/11 to support the family of fallen firefighters, cops, and soldiers, helping those families get back on their feet, making sure that they don't have to worry about bills. Sometimes when we have a veteran come back from service with obvious injuries, they need the physical therapy to come back. If you guys want to do a great thing on this Memorial Day weekend, go to my Instagram account, Butt Fumble Sports, and donate. The cause is up there. Everything you need to go do this. Tunnel to Towers. Tunnel to Towers. I have worked with this organization before. I've donated before. I've vetted them as best as I could as an individual. This is a really upstanding organization. The money you donate actually goes to the family. It's not paying for some executive. It's not paying for bullshit. It is going into the pockets of families of fallen heroes. So if you want to support those who run into the danger to make sure you're okay, go to Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. Donate to Tunnel to Towers. Scotty B, let them know. In fact, let's pin that comment. Go to our Instagram account, Butt Fumble Sports, and donate to Tunnel to Towers. I don't want you guys to spend money on my picks. I'll give away my picks for free every single day as long as I have air in my freaking lungs. But the only reason that we're able to celebrate a day and the freedom and the joy and the safety, security, and opportunity and beauty of this kind of sports day is because we've got heroes in this country. Real mother freaking heroes. Go support them. Tunnel to Towers. I don't care if you give 1 cent. I don't care if you give 100 cents. It's entirely up to you. But if you want to do a great deed on this Sunday, go to Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram and donate to Tunnel for Towers or Tunnel to Towers. It's Tunnel to Towers. Make sure you donate today. Great cause. Let's get back to doing our sports betting research because I know you guys don't want me to lecture about causes all day. Let's check out Yankees and Padres. We've got Zion asking about Yankees and the Padres. Let's go check that one out. Yankees coming off back-to-back wins in San Diego. Is there anybody hotter than Aaron Judge on the planet right now? You could literally douse him in gasoline and somehow it would cool him off. The dude is scorching hot. So make sure you guys are paying attention to his player prop bets because Aaron Judge simply doesn't miss right now. But we're going to take a look at this game overall. Yankees, Padres, what do we like? When the Yankees are coming off back-to-back wins on the road so far this year, they are 7-3 straight up, 6-3 on the run line, but we got a great trend for you, everybody. When the Yankees are coming off back-to-back wins and play a road game, the under is 8-1, everybody. The under is 8-1. The under has performed incredibly well when the Yankees are coming off back-to-back wins and they're on the road. So that very scenario plays out tonight. Let's take a look if there are other trends that we like involving this game. When the Padres are on back-to-back losses at home so far this year. 4-5 straight up, 3-6 on the run line. Under, not as good, 5-4 favoring the over. How about the Yankees? When the Yankees are a road favorite in the last game of a series so far this year, 3-1 straight up, 2-2 on the run line. The over is 4-0. Too bad. I get the vibe that the over-under, we're not going to get a consensus on trends, so it may not be something for you. How about on the other side of things, when the Padres, last game of a series, are a home underdog? This is actually the first time this year that's the case. When they played the last game of a series at home, regardless of favorite or underdog status, straight up 6-2, run line 5-3. The over is 6-2. The over is 6-2 when the Padres play at home in the last game of a series. So definitely something we want to keep our eye on. What's going on? There we go. Okay, so we're going to continue to dive into this one. I don't know why my phone is fucking up. Hold on, I got to close out TikTok. TikTok is dying on me. Someone in the comment section, write something in the comment section on TikTok. My screen just went dark. I can't really see what questions are. So Chase, 1212, I see you're asking about the O's. We do like the Orioles on the money line. Right now we're looking at Yankees on money. Okay, we got Nick. All right, I'm seeing him now. Thank you for the test, Jay. Okay, let's get back to the research. So far, we're favoring maybe the Yankees on the money line a little bit. When the Yankees face a right-handed starter on the road so far this year, Yankees on the road against a right-handed starter, 17-7 straight up, 14-9 on the run line. Hold on a second. I got to start TikTok over. Forgive me. We're going to start TikTok over.
TikTok story.
Yeah, we don't want those TikTok stories. Let's reset. And let's resume. We're resuming now. Now we're good. Yeah, now we're back to being up light. Okay, Yankees are 17-7 straight up when they're playing on the road against a right-handed starter. 14-9 on the run line. Under is 15-7-1. Yankees have won their last 5 straight games on the road against a right-handed starter. They've won 6 of their last 7. So Yankees very strong under this scenario. Padres are also facing a right-handed starter. How have they done at home against a right-handed starter so far this year? 9-11 straight up, 8-12 on the run line, over slightly better at 12-7-1. The Padres have lost their last 3 games at home against a right-handed starter. Now, Yankees have one of our favorite pitchers on the mound today. Clark Schmidt is on the mound for the Yankees. Clark Schmidt has made 10 starts so far this year. Yankees are 8-2 in his starts. Both of those losses came against decent teams, Orioles, Mariners. So when Clark Schmidt faces an opponent, let's see. Do the Padres have a winning record? No, they don't. No, they don't. When Clark Schmidt faces a team with a sub-500 winning percentage, he's 4-0 straight up. So Clark Schmidt has been very good so far this year against sub-500 teams. How about Joe Musgrove? We're just looking at some stats right now. How do we feel about Joe Musgrove? So far this year, Musgrove's made 9 starts. Padres are 5-4 in those starts, 4-5 on the run line. Over is slightly better at 6-3. Right now, if you could take the over 7, I would take it. If you could take under 10, I would take it. But I'm not going to touch the run line. I'm not going to touch the total. I feel like the total's right around where it's set right now. I think you can get 8-9 runs. It's set at 8 right now. Again, I'd go over 7. I'd go under 10. But I'm not going to touch that one. I'm taking Yankees on the money line, though. Yankees are hot. Yankees are wicked hot right now. Yankees on the money line does go up on the big board is the next pick we're going with. How about some player prop bets from this game, though? We just talked about Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is scorching. He is the hottest hitter in baseball right now, and somehow over half a hit is available for Aaron Judge. Over his last 20 games, He has a hit in 17 of them, specifically on the road. He has a hit in 6 straight games on the road. Against a right-handed pitcher, he has a hit in 16 of his last 20 games overall. At home against a right-handed pitcher, 12 of his last 20. I will put Aaron Judge on the big board over half a hit. Now again, this is a same game parlay kind of play. This is definitely a parlay play, but over half a hit, I'm absolutely taking that one. But it's not the only Yankee I'm going with today. Juan Soto. Juan Soto over half a hit. Again, very strong play. Against Joe Musgrove in his career, Juan Soto has 9 at-bats, has got 3 hits. Wish it was a slightly bigger sample size, but that's not going to worry me. I'll take Juan Soto over half a hit. Put that into a same-game parlay with Yankees winning. Put it into a same-game parlay with Aaron Judge over half a hit. Definitely a couple of the bets I like today from a player prop bet perspective. If you wanted anybody else from a player prop bet perspective, Alex Verdugo is actually very interesting as well. He hits Joe Musgrove well. He's hit righty pitching well so far this year. So Alex Verdugo over half a hit. He actually has a hit in 9 of his last 10 games overall, 14 of his last 20. I'll put this one up on the board as well. Alex Verdugo over half a hit. Again, 3 different Yankees to get a hit today. Putting them into some parlays. Have some fun, everybody. Sports fan, we do like Aaron Judge. Now, Aaron Judge has a home run in 4 straight games. Interesting there. I wish we could study Aaron Judge home runs in day games. I don't think I can get that data. I know there are some places you could find it. It's too bad you can't look at something by start time on Outlier. That's something I'd actually love for them to add. He has a home run in 4 straight games. He has a home run in 5 of his last 7. Aaron Judge over half a home run. I'm not going to bet it, but if you told me he did it again, would not be shocked. Zion is asking about the Cards and the Cubs. Let's take a look at that game. Now, I had the Cubs winning yesterday. Didn't happen. I had the Cubs covering plus 1.5. That did happen. I also had the under. That didn't happen. Beautiful stroke. Bro, what do you use to gather your facts? A couple different websites. One is Outlier, Outlier. It does require a subscription, but I think it's a great return on investment. So if you want to give Outlier a free 7-day trial, DM me on Instagram. A website that we use that's free, that we use all the time, I'm going to use it a lot throughout the show, is killersports.com. Killersports.com. You guys can use that for free. Do research on your own. Phenomenal tool. It is like an Excel spreadsheet in which you need to know the formula and know how to pull things out. But other than that, I think killersports.com, for being free, phenomenal tool. Beautiful stroke. That's why Outlier doesn't show you all of that. Killersports.com shows you a lot. And the other tool that I use is ballparkpal.com. Ballparkpal.com used to be free, now requires a subscription. They run thousands of models for every baseball game every day, giving you a good understanding of at least what the data, if it played out as many times as you thought, how it would perform. But again, that kind of is a laminator. I use Outlier and killersports.com to kind of come up with the pick, and I use Ballpark to kind of solidify the pick, making sure all things point in the same direction. Cubs, Cardinals. The money right now, the tickets are favoring the Cardinals at 72%. The money's favoring the Cardinals, but not by much, 60%. By the way, beautiful stroke, no I don't. Outlier sponsors our show, so I get to use it for free, but Outlier Pro I'd have to pay for, and frankly, I like our sponsorship deal, so I'm okay with it. Now, the Cubs are an underdog today. Cubs plus 1.5 is at 44% of the tickets, 52% of the money, so keep your eye on the Cubs to cover plus 1.5. Finally, the under is getting more love. 60% of the tickets are on the over, but 52% of the money is on the under. Again, we care about the money a little bit more than the tickets, so keep your eye on the under a little bit. We'll dive into some trends, though, on this one. The Cubs, the Cubbies, are they coming off back-to-back losses, or is it just one loss? The Cubs are coming off back-to-back losses. When the Cubs have had back-to-back losses so far this year, they are on the road, back-to-back losses, and then they play on the road. 4-1 straight up, 4-1 on the run line. So a lot to be interested by Cubs, plus 1.5. The under's also been a better play at 3-2. Beautiful stroke. Thanks for the kind words. Really appreciate you. That said, let's look at it from a Cardinals perspective. When the Cardinals are coming off back-to-back wins and then they play at home after back-to-back wins, they are 2-2 straight up, 1-3 on the run line. The over's 3-1. So far, Cubs plus 1.5, building a bit of a case so far. Let's continue to dive into the trends. When the Cubs are in the last game of a series and they're an away dog, so far this year, the Cubs are 4-2 straight up, 5-1 on the run line under that scenario. The under's 4-2. Flip it over. Cardinals, last game of a series at home so far this year. Cardinals are 2-6 straight up, 3-5 on the run line. The under is 5-3. Again, Cubs on the run line is building a case. Trends are backing it. Let's take a look. When the Cubs face a right-handed starter on the road so far this year, Cubs against a right-handed starter so far this year, 11-10 straight up, so not a very good team straight up, but 13-8 on the run line, under slightly favored at 12-9. Flipping it over once again, when the Cardinals face a right-handed starter at home this year, Cardinals are 8-8 straight up, 9-7 on the run line. The over-under is split at 8-8. Let's check out Javier Assad. Javier Assad is the starting righty for the Cubs. How have they performed in his starts so far this year? Cubs are 7-3 in his starts. Wow. 8-2 on the run line. They've actually won their last 4 games when Assad is on the mound. Under's been a better play at 7-3. Kind of blows up a little bit of the data we were looking at. It actually supports the data we're looking at with the Cubs on the run line. So, again, Cubs plus 1.5 getting a lot of attention from me right now. How about Sonny Gray? Sonny Gray is the starting pitcher for the Cardinals. Sonny Gray, when he pitches, Cardinals are 6-2 straight up, 5-3 on the run line. Interesting to note, though, when Sonny Gray has pitched at home so far this year, Cardinals are 3-1 straight up, 3-1 on the run line. The under is 3-1. So according to these two starting pitchers, the under is a good play. I like the Cubs to cover. Personally, I think that's a decent bet. Cubs plus 1.5. I think that's a good bet, everybody. I'm going to put it up on the board. Do I have a ton of confidence in it? No. Probably one I'm more leaning with than I am going heavily on it. But Cubs plus 1.5. I'll take Cubs plus 2. Put that into a parlay. So if you're looking for a parlay play, you could get Cubs plus 2 at minus 271. But Cubs plus 1.5. That's the straight up bet that I would go with. Booted Lex. Rays on the money line. Someone asking about those Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays are hosting the Kansas City Royals. Royals got a win yesterday. We accurately called that. The Rays are a favorite today. Let's take a look at the trends on this one. Oops. We just blew up, which means I got to pause, and I got to resume. And we're back. TikTok being hilarious. Okay, let's get to some research. When the Royals... Are the Royals coming off back-to-back wins? Am I mistaken, or is that right? I know they won yesterday. I thought they won on Friday as well. They did. So when the Royals are coming off back-to-back wins, and then they play on the road, 4-4 straight up, 3-5 on the run line. The over slightly better at 4-3-1. The over is actually 4-1 in their last 5 games on the road after back-to-back wins. Let's take a look at it from a Rays perspective. When the Rays are coming off back-to-back losses and then they play at home after those back-to-back losses, the Tampa Bay Rays are 4-5 straight up, 4-5 on the run line. They've actually lost their last 4 straight games at home after back-to-back losses. Rays are not the team we thought they would be. Definitely struggling. The over's been a better play at 6-3 under that scenario. The over has actually gone 6-1 in the last 7 games they've played at home after back-to-back losses. Let's continue to dive into some trends. When the Royals are an away dog in the last game of a series, they are 1-4 straight up, 2-3 on the run line. The under is 4-0-1. So keep your eyes right now, at least on Rays on the money line. That is getting a bit of my attention based on the trends. How have the Rays done last game of a series at home this year? 4-5 straight up, 2-7 on the run line, 6-3 favoring the over. Right when I was starting to buy into the Rays. Rays trends are just ugly. How about when the Royals have faced a right-handed starter on the road so far this year? 9-9 straight up, 10-8 on the run line, 10-6-2 favoring the under. How about when the Rays are facing a right-handed starter at home so far this year? Rays against a right-handed starter at home, 9-14 straight up. The Tampa Bay Rays are 5-18 on the run line against a right-handed starter at home. In fact, they've lost their last 2, 4, 6, 8 games. The Tampa Bay Rays, a team that I think we've come to respect over the last few years, they've lost their last 8 straight home games against a right-handed starter. Who saw that coming? I mean, those games are against the White Sox, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Royals, so it's not all juggernaut teams. I mean, sure, the Yankees and the Royals have performed well this year, but the White Sox and the Red Sox, man, the Rays at home against a right-handed starter, not exactly inspiring a lot of confidence. Now, when the Rays are a home favorite against a right-handed starter, 4-14 on the run line. 4-14 on the run line. They've lost their last 5 straight games under that scenario. In fact, the average score when they're a home favorite against a right-handed starter is 4.7 runs for the opponent, 3.5 runs for Tampa Bay. Who saw that coming? Let's dive into the starting pitchers right now. Taj Bradley is on the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays. How have they done when Bradley starts so far this year? 1-2 straight up, 1-2 on the run line. The under is 3-0. On the other side, Michael Wacha is on the mound for the Royals. In his start so far this year, Royals are 5-5 straight up, 5-5 on the run line. They have won their last 3 in a row. Under slightly better at 6-4. I'm not touching this game. Every time we look at the trends, it goes in another direction. I think you could probably talk me into the Royals plus 1.5. You might even be able to talk me into the Royals winning, but this is a tricky one for me. Right when I want to believe in the Tampa Bay Rays, there are a series of trends that say don't. The Rays are not reliable at home against a right-handed starter, so I'm going to avoid this one. Royals and Rays, not going to touch it. Nothing generates confidence in this game, so I'm going to avoid this one. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the content, loving the show. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time we go live. One more pick I want to put up on the board for you. I am taking Phillies on the money line. It is a parlay play, but that's one I'm just going to give out for free. That's a fast one. By the way, Jorge, love Corey Seager over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Yep, Corey Seager over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. In fact, let's check that one out really quick. I looked at this one earlier prior to the show. Corey Seager, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, has hit in 6 straight games, 7 of his last 9 games. And against Pablo Lopez in his career, Corey Seager is 2 for 3, does include a home run. I put it up on the big board right now. I'm going to. That's Corey Seager, over 1.5 hits, plus runs, plus RBIs. Jorge, bravo, good find by you. Beautiful stroke, we can. Let's do a quick recap of all the picks we've given out so far during the show. We've been live for about 1 hour and 25 minutes. Can't believe the show's going by as fast as it is. But really quick, let's dive into some of the data that some of the picks we put up on the board. We like Blue Jays and Tigers under 9. As of right now, the Tigers are up 4-0. They just scored 4 runs in the bottom of the second. So UC Kikuchi, thanks for blowing the fuck up. I'm glad that we didn't take Toronto on the money line. I cannot believe the Tigers just scored 4 runs in that half inning. Blue Jays really squandered it. So I'm hoping there's a lack of runs in the remainder of this game as I have under 9 runs. I also have Orioles on the money line. I have Dodgers on the money line. I have Dodgers and Reds under 10.5. I have Yankees on the money line. I have Cubs plus 1.5. And I have Phillies on the money line. A couple of player prop bets we like for today. Ronel Blanco over 1.5 walks. Reed Detmers over 1.5 walks. Aaron Judge over half a hit. Juan Soto over half a hit. Alex Verdugo over half a hit. And Corey Seager over 1.5 walks. Over 1.5 hits, walks. Corey Seager over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. There are some of the picks we have on the board. Now, a bunch of you guys are curious about the NBA. Let's dive into some NBA, everybody. We got an NBA playoff game tonight that we've got to, or is it tonight? Is it this afternoon? Let me double check. Tip-off of this game is 8 o'clock. Yeah, night game. So let's take a look really quick. Timberwolves, Mavericks. Right now the money is coming in on the Timberwolves, actually. 26% of the tickets are on the Timberwolves to win, but 58% of the money is on the Timberwolves to win. So the money is coming down heavily on the Timberwolves. Both teams are actually a good return on investment straight up on the money line. So if you do like one side, not bad. But the fact that the money is coming down on the Timberwolves so heavily, keep your eye on that. It also is coming down on the spread. Right now the spread is 1.5 in favor of the Dallas Mavericks. It is very interesting to note that this is one in which, again, Timberwolves are getting not just the tickets, but the money. 75% of the money is on the Timberwolves, plus 1.5. The over is getting a lot of love. 97% of the money, 97% of the money and the tickets are on the over. Keep your eye on the over. Really quick, let's look at the injury report for this game. Luka Doncic is a game-time decision. Luka Doncic, game-time decision. Mike Conley is a game-time decision with a right Achilles. Raz, I'm seeing Luka Doncic game-time decision with a left ankle soreness. I have not seen that he is out of the game or anything like that, but let's keep our eye on that. Let's keep our eye on whether Luka Doncic plays in this game or not. Obviously, that would favor the Timberwolves to an enormous amount. Let's take a look at some trends, everybody. So, when the Timberwolves are coming off back-to-back losses so far this year, regardless of location, when the Timberwolves are coming off back-to-back losses, they are 5-1 straight up. 5-1 straight up. Their only loss was to the Nuggets in the previous playoff round. So actually, the Timberwolves 5-1 off of back-to-back losses, regardless of location. They're 4-2 on the against the spread. The over is 4-2 as well. Ricky, we will, but first we're doing our research on this right now, buddy. Okay, when the Timberwolves are a road underdog, Timberwolves have only been a road underdog 23 times this year. Man, the sports books are really good at what they do. When the Timberwolves are a road underdog, the Timberwolves are 12-11. Wow, hard to predict. 13-10 against the spread. The over is 13-10 as well. Timberwolves have actually won and covered 5 of their last 6 games when they are a road underdog. How about when the Mavericks are coming off back-to-back wins and they are at home? First of all, when the Mavericks are coming off back-to-back wins at any point this year, 22-13 straight up, 22-13 against the spread. Under's been better at 20-15. When the Mavericks are at home after back-to-back wins, 10-7 straight up, 9-8 against the spread. The under's been a much better play, actually. Under is 12-5 under this scenario. One note, though. When the Mavericks are coming off back-to-back wins and they're at home, they've lost their last 3 games in a row. They failed to cover those 3 games as well. Those games were against the Pistons, Clippers, and Thunder. So a little bit of interest there. The fact that kind of speaks to the Timberwolves trend. Let's continue to dive into it. When the Mavericks have been a home favorite this year, 22-11 straight up, 17-16 against the spread. Under's been slightly better at 19-14. How about when the Mavericks are a home favorite against a team with a winning record like the Timberwolves are? So far this year, Mavericks are 10-7 straight up, 8-9 against the spread. The under is 11-6 when the Mavericks are a home favorite against a team with a winning record. By the way, Blue Jays have just loaded the bases. I have a bad feeling about that under 9 in the Blue Jays and Tigers. So, unfortunately, not a good look to start our day. Just having a bad feel about it. Let's continue to look into some trends, though, for this NBA game. Next thing I'm going to look at, I just want to see over the last few seasons. Since, let's say, 2022, when the Timberwolves have gone to Dallas to play the Mavericks, how have they performed? when the Timberwolves have played the Mavericks in Dallas since 2022, what's their record? 2-1 straight up, 2-1 against the spread, under is 2-1. I'm just looking at trends one by one, seeing if there's anything we can get our attention on. How about when the Timberwolves have a total less than 215? So the total for this game is 207. Timberwolves, when the total's less than 215, are 19-9 straight up. The over is 20-8. The over is 20-8 when the Timberwolves have a total less than 215. How about when they're on the road? Over is 8-4. Timberwolves are 9-3 straight up and 9-3 against the spread. How about when they're an underdog? When the Timberwolves are a road underdog with a total less than 215 this year, 7-3 straight up, 7-3 against the spread. The over is 6-4. The only loss they have actually in their last 6 games under this scenario was to the Nuggets a couple of weeks ago. Flip it around. How about when the Mavericks have a total less than 215 and they're at home? Actually, let's say when they have a total less than 215 anywhere. Mavericks are 7-1 straight up, 6-2 against the spread. The only thing I like for this game right now is the over. I will take the over for this game. I'm going to put this one up on the big board. I'm going to take the over. I'll take Timberwolves and Mavericks. I'm going to take the over at 207.5. Normally, I don't take it at the line that's being offered. I would take that. Obviously, I'd buy it down if I'm looking for a parlay play. If I'm looking for a parlay play on the over 207.5, I'd buy it down to, let's say, 202.5. That's what I would take. Over 202.5 would be the parlay play. But if you're just looking, if you're only looking for, by the way, Blue Jays didn't score in that top of the third. I know, Mac. I kept my eye on that one as well, so the under is still alive. I'll take Timberwolves Mavericks over 207.5. I'll take Timberwolves and Mavericks over 202.5. Are there any player prop bets? Really quick, let's do some research on player prop bets. Any player prop bets that we really like for this game? Really quick, I'm going to go to points, and I'm going to go to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving on points. His point total opened at 22.5, has come down to 21.5. On the road, at home so far in the last 10 games, he's only gone over this total 5 times in his last 10. But if I lower it, if I take Kyrie Irving to reach 20 points, Kyrie Irving has scored 20 points in 8 of his last 10 home games. In over his last 10 games overall, 6 of his last 10 against the Timberwolves. Kyrie Irving has scored 20 points in 4 straight games against the Mavericks. This would be a parlay play for me. Take the over, buy it down, take like over 202.5, and then take Kyrie Irving over 19.5 points. Put that into a 2-leg parlay. I think that's a very, very good bet. Again, maybe take over 199.5, over 200.5, over 201.5, over 202.5, and then pair that with Kyrie Irving reaching 20 points. Another player that I like today when it comes to points, someone just brought him up, Karl Anthony Towns. His point total for tonight is 19.5. He's only gone over this total in 5 of his last 10 games, but on the road, Karl Anthony Towns has reached 20 points in 5 straight road games, 6 of his last 7, 7 of his last 10. This opened at 19.5, went down to 18.5, came up to 20.5, is back down to 19.5. I really like the play. When he's gone up against the Mavericks in Dallas, he's reached 20 points both times. So I'll put this one up on the board as well. Again, you could take it at 18.5 if you wanted to. I'm going to take it at the 18.5 for the purposes of the big board. Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns over 18.5 points. I'll repeat that one for you guys. Here are the 3 NBA picks we've made so far. Timberwolves and Mavericks over 207.5. We like Kyrie Irving over 19.5 points. Karl Anthony Towns over 18.5 points. Appreciate you guys throwing up some thumbs up over there on Instagram Live. Love you guys asking your questions. Hopefully this gives you guys a sense of what we like for this NBA game tonight. Mono is asking about no run in the first inning for the Royals. Really quick, I'm just going to cheat this one. I'm going to go to ballparkpal.com. According to ballparkpal.com, run in the first inning is about a coin flip. Mono too crazy, don't bet it. It's a coin flip, don't bet it. It's a trap. It's a trap! Kyle Klein, I like the bet. Kyle Klein, Astros money line, Braves money line. In fact, let me put Braves on the money line on the big board. I do like Braves on the money line. Chris Sale has been phenomenal on the mound. I do like him as well. Beautiful stroke. Naz Reid is a good play as well. Keep your eye on him for points and rebounds. We cashed on his points in the last game. I think it's a good find. Beautiful stroke. By the way, if anyone is looking for a no run in the first inning, no run in the first inning for any baseball game today, I actually think the one that's got the greatest chance of no run in the first inning is actually the Orioles and the White Sox. Orioles, White Sox, no run in the first inning has the best probability of not having a run. Orioles, White Sox, no run in the first inning. Sean Dog, how about you stop? Guys, do we want me to stop? I can sign off. That's cool. Sean Dog, are you tired of the trends? You tired of the picks? You don't want any more? Poor K. What's up, bud? A couple of you guys are asking about the NHL. Rangers, Panthers. The money is favoring the Panthers. The tickets are favoring the Panthers. The goal line is favoring the Panthers. And guys, I'm favoring the Panthers as well. We'll go into some trends really quick, but I do like the Panthers, just to let it be known early on. I'm feeling the Panthers. I think the Panthers pull out the Game 3 win. But let's dive into some trends so you guys know why I'm about it. Parlay Kings doesn't like my take. He's looking for those Rangers on the money line. Okay, when the Panthers are off a loss and they're at home so far this season, Panthers are just 11-8 actually, but they've won their last 4 straight games after a loss at home, or coming off a loss when they play at home. So I do like them a little bit. I do like them a little bit. How about the Rangers? Rangers coming off a win. When they're coming off a win and then they're on the road, Rangers are 20-13. 20-13. The over's a better play as well at 19-13-1. Let's see. When the Panthers, is there a way? I want to research overtime wins. I know there's a way to. I don't know though. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Panthers. Let's put it this way: when the Panthers have played the Rangers in Sunrise, yes, Sunrise, Florida. Let's date it back over the last few years. When the Panthers have played the Rangers since the start of 2022 at home, 1 and 2 straight up. The over's 3-0. Kind of interesting that the over is actually a better play with these two teams playing in Florida. I'm not going to bet this one. I like Panthers on the money line. I'm going to take Panthers on the money line. I think they're going to win, but I understand that we don't have too much data behind it to back it up, so I'm not going to put it up on the big board. I just think the Panthers get the win. When the Panthers are coming off a loss after a win, and then they're at home, they're 9-5 straight up. They've won their last 3. How about coming off a loss as a home favorite? 11-8 straight up. How about the Rangers? Rangers after a win. Rangers after a win when they're an away dog. So far this year, Rangers 4-4 in that scenario, over under 4-4. I'm not going to bet this one. OBJ, Rangers plus 1.5 is not a bad bet. Certainly, I actually think OBJ's onto something. I think that you take Panthers money line and Rangers plus 1.5. I think it's a 1-goal difference, so kind of an interesting there. What MLB props do you have for the Braves money line? I actually do have one. We're going to move on from hockey. I really don't like the hockey game. I'm going to enjoy watching it, but I'm not going to bet it. Don't feel great about it. There is a player in the Braves game that I absolutely freaking love to get a hit today. Let's make sure we share that one. Now, let's see if it's available at over half a hit. You may have to take over half a hit run RBI. Ozzy Albies. Yeah, you're not going to get over half a hit. Not available. He has a hit in 8 of his last 10 games. Ozzy Albies against Martin Perez, starting pitcher of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Albies is 4 for 4 lifetime. 2 of the 4 hits are home runs. I'll take Ozzy Albies over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. It's not available in most places, so probably not going to be available for most bettors. I'll put it up here just so you can see it. Ozzy Albies over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. I did do a same game parlay like Braves money line. The parlay I had was Braves money line, Ozzy Albies over half a hit, and Marcell Ozuna over half a hit. Marcell Ozuna is hitting .356 this season against left-handed pitching. That's why I have Marcell Ozuna over half a hit again. It isn't available, I don't think. Yeah, the only way it's available is if it's a same-game parlay. So Marcell Ozuna and Ozzy Albies over half a hit, but again, that's a same-game parlay. Do a 3-leg parlay. Braves on the money line, Ozzy Albies over half a hit, Marcell Ozuna over half a hit. John, love the take, John, great call. Robert, love Jose Ramirez today. That's another good one. Let's throw that one up on the big board. Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez, you can't get him at over 1.5. You can't get him over half a hit. But against Detmers, Reed Detmers in his career, he's 3 for 10 lifetime with a home run and 3 RBIs. If you can get over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, I take this one as well. That's Jose Ramirez. Over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs, everybody. Appreciate you guys watching the show. We are running out of time, everybody. Running out of time. Get your questions in now because we are running out of time for our show. Hope you guys have been loving the content, loving the conversation. I hope you guys know this is my favorite part of the day. Sean Dog. What a weak... Sean Dog has a hot take. What a weak generation of men. Gambling, vaping, playing Call of Duty, no women. First of all, Sean Dog, I hate to break it to you, but past generations, they gambled and they smoked. So vaping versus smoking cigarettes, I don't really get that take. Second of all, playing Call of Duty, okay. Do you know what people were doing in the past? They were like reading books. Gay. That's a joke. But obviously, no women? I don't understand the connection. Sean Dog, if you're saying you're getting no puss, if you're saying you get no action, I could believe it, Sean Dog. But what a weak generation of men gambling and vaping. Since like the dawn of time, men have been smoking and gambling. I literally, like, since ancient Rome, since ancient Egypt, like, since Mesopotamia, people have been gambling and smoking whatever they can gamble on and whatever they can light and smoke and get into their lungs. So Sean Dog, talk about a weak-ass take, but that's okay, dude. That's okay. Parlays King, Sean Dog is just, what do we call it? I think we call it a loser? I think so. But that's okay. If he's getting no puss, it's okay, buddy. That's okay. Smoking is way cooler than vaping. You're huffing what? I can't disagree with that, though. I can't disagree with that take by Sean Dog. That's actually a good take. Vaping is the most, like, Teletubbies way of smoking. It's like, I want to smoke, but I want it to taste like an orange rainbow. That's kind of funny, actually, Sean Dog. Not a terrible take there. Will Cruz, what's up? Hope you're having a great day. Who vapes? I mean, I don't, so I don't know. But then again, I don't smoke cigs either, because gross. But yeah. So anyways, guys, this has been a random way to end the show, but we are going to wrap up right now. I hope you guys have enjoyed every single second of the show. I am so grateful that you guys watch every day. I love talking sports with you guys. If you don't know it, this is absolutely the highlight of my day. I love doing this research. I love talking sports with you. I love going back and forth with you guys every single day. Here's a quick recap of all the picks we've given out. A reminder, if you miss any picks that I made today, just DM me on Instagram. I give away my picks for free. Doesn't matter where you watch, what platform you watch on. Doesn't matter what you bet on. I give away my picks for free because my attitude is you should never pay for a sports pick unless it's coming from like a Vegas insider expert. Only so many of those in this world. I do my research every day because I love doing it, and then I give them away for free. So if you guys want every pick that I make every single day, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports, DM me on Instagram. By the way, when you go to my Instagram account, be a mensch, be a good person, and go over there. Oh! Wow. We just got banned on TikTok. Someone just banned us. Wow. Our live status, access to go live, will be restored on June 2nd. We have been banned on TikTok. No way. Someone's saying that we have said something that we're not allowed to. So we have appealed that. But wow, we are no longer on TikTok, getting the ban, the short-term ban. You think it was Sean? I think it probably was, because that dude seemed like a giant puss. But that said, right now, TikTok giving us the ban. Wow, shocked. Did I say anything? Did I say any hate speech? I did shit on him, but I didn't think I said any hate speech. Anyways, banned on TikTok. We'll give out our picks on Instagram. We're going to wrap up our show right now, so what a way to wrap up the show. Getting banned on TikTok for hate speech. If you guys know what I did wrong, please let me know. Damn, crazy is right. Guess you guys are going to have to find me on Instagram Live, on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. That's where we're going to be live for the next few shows. So if you guys missed any of our picks, you can find them on Instagram. And of course, you can always find me on Instagram Live, TikTok Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. We'll be live here every single day. So even while TikTok just gave us the short-term ban, don't worry, we'll come back on. I'm not worried about it. Clearly, someone just complaining for no reason. Going to post our picks in just a minute, so go DM me on Instagram. And for all those that have been watching the show, thank you guys for making time out of your day to watch our content. I am so, so grateful for all of you guys being with us. And you guys have a wonderful Sunday. Until later, we'll catch you guys. Goodbye, everybody.